Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Virgo. If Virgo is your solar, lunar, ascendant/rising sign, then this is a message for you. Okay, let's get started. See what do these tea leaves have to say tonight. And so our card for tonight is the Nine of Discs, which has to do with gain, likely within the material realm, maybe money, maybe resources. Within your work, and there's also kind of a period of really manifesting the things that you are working on, manifesting, materialization, happiness through having, access to this abundance, okay, and moments of satisfaction. All right. My goodness, my eyes. I have to say yesterday, and it's silly because, I've never had my eyes dilated, but yesterday I did in the later afternoon, and they felt pretty good today. But I think because I'm tired, they just feel so, they feel blurry. And I don't know if that's because they're dry or because something has affected them from having them dilated. It's silly. Okay, so we do have a little smiley face right here. So I think the overall temperament is a place of happiness, contentment. Well, no, let me strike that. Not contentment, motivation. Feeling pretty good about how things are going. Almost like, a big old fat cat who just ate their yummy meal. And so, I think there's not a lot to complain about at this moment. We do have right here, it looks like a little witch with a little hat, and it looks like they're kind of holding up their broom possibly. And it almost looks like they're pointing it out at this mountain here. And so what comes to mind is kind of the archetype of the magus or the magician, but also a more earthy, mother crone archetype of a, witch or elderly practitioner, right? And with the mountain, of course, my mind goes to the holy mountain. And we have this kind of almost mother, grandmother figure who exists on the outskirts of the norms of society, probably, some kind of medicine woman or medicine person, somebody who, has very cultivated knowledge and wisdom. Is this you? I hope so, right? I think so, probably. And pointing at that holy mountain. What is the holy mountain? This is, if you can imagine, some kind of practitioner. Usually we think of maybe like a Buddhist, some kind of Jainist or, tantric, yogic, yogi, what is it, yogini, I think it is. Going up upon the mountain to sit in postures, meditate, be away from the world. Have a vantage point that is above, right? An expanded perception, living in almost an intolerable climate because it's cold usually, and being obviously separated from all other things. Having, probably limited food or water, and this is a treacherous place to go and pray, meditate, be with the divine, okay? And so it is kind of a symbol of these higher spiritual, religious, philosophical pursuits, okay? And, I think that this image here, we have this idea of a lot of material gain, or at least stability, okay? Maybe money, like we said. It is easy to forget ourselves, to forget the reason for our work, what ultimately has motivated us to get to where we are now. And so, a reminder, do not abandon the divine, right? It's easy to say, especially when you're struggling and you look to spirituality, to religion, and we all kind of do, especially when we're having troubles, right? That's not the only time. I'm not saying that's the only time, but I would say that I do pray more often when I am, worried about something, or, something has happened, or I'm afraid something is going to happen. And so when we get into a place where we're feeling comfortable, excited, there is a satisfaction of abundance. It can be easy to forget to keep our altars, to speak to God, to say our prayers, to, make offerings, whatever it is that you do. And so this is that little reminder. You are doing well. Things are going your way. You are manifesting. There is a lot of magic and beauty in your life. And you've done that. Okay? You have done that. But do not forget why you are there. And I don't think that you will, right? One thing about Virgos is that I don't think that we are taken by the glamour so often, or having an abundance of resources. Now, I would say I don't know a lot about that. I've never been somebody with a lot of money, so I don't know. Maybe you totally forget about all of the spirit. I don't know. It is a tenet in most religions that we should, not hoard wealth, but, here we are in the world that we live in. So, I'm not sure what happens. It depends on the person, I imagine. But I do know that there are other things that take me away from, my spiritual practices. Being in, bad health when I'm not feeling well. I neglect my practices. When I am very happy, I have a tendency to get lost in that. Of course, when you are in love, it feels, amazing to be wrapped up in a love affair with your partner. And, sometimes those things kind of they're not a priority in those moments. And, that's okay. We can return to them. But I think with money, there is a sense of there being a corrupting factor. Okay. So we have to balance it out. okay, with service, you know, being as charitable as we can, you know, and I think also being reasonable, staying humble, as frugal as you are able, and so on, okay? I can't speak too much on all of that. I'm, you know, I've been a waitress most of my life, and then a stay-at-home mom. So I'm not really the person to speak too much on money, but I do know that you know, things are going pretty well for Virgo right now, okay? And it feels like a happy time. I will say I am a Virgo, so hopefully I get a little bit of this energy as well. Now we have the butterfly, okay? And that is, of course, a sign of metamorphosis, growth, self-evolution, okay? And I think that, you know, things are always in motion in Virgo, in Virgo land. Things are always being worked on. And I think that, you know, there's no, this is not an exception. I think that you are steadily, you have plans, you're working on them. I feel like there's been a lot of, you know, there's been a turn towards emotional work. Okay, we're still in our birthday season. Now, I am an August Virgo. So, you know, I know that we're still we're still in the September Virgo birthdays. So, you know, it already feels like my birthday was a million years ago. But, you know, we're in that energy. Hopefully still feeling jovial. We are on the cusp of a lot of transitions if you are in the northern hemisphere. For a lot of us, you know, if you have any relation to school-age children, or you work in anything that has anything to do with kids, or you know, in teaching or whatever, it is a time where a lot of kids are going back to school. Our routines are changing, and that takes a lot of our attention, I think. Anyways, it has for me. And you know, and we're getting ready for fall. It already feels like fall here. I've already decided we're fully into autumn already. Although it was like 85 degrees today. But you know, this is a big transitional period, and it can kind of feel, you know, like an ending to things, an ending to that summer, to the freedom of summer. Even if you are just a person working, you know, regular hours, maybe you are post-work in your retirement, and, you know, you don't really adhere to the weekdays as much, but, you know, there's something about a summer that there's so much possibility, right? And so when we get into the fall and we begin the harvest and we begin to really think about what is to come, there's kind of a feeling of, I don't know, what is it? You know, nearing an end, I guess, or the beginning of an end. But, you know, I think that we're pretty good at making the best of this. I, for one, feel like I get into fall, the first cold day or cold evening where I can smell it in the air. It's the first time I can breathe for months. I think I cannot believe how stressed out I felt all summer. I've been so busy trying to get everything in, and I did not even realize how wound up I really am. And then that beautiful fall smell gets into my psyche, into my soul, and I think, okay, now I feel like myself again. I'm starting to really feel a little more calm. I can take my time a little bit more. And, you know, hopefully that is the same for you. Now we have a dragon that is flying. And I'm taking a look here because we have a heart right next to it. And I am thinking, I feel like there's been some emotions within kind of the romantic zone of your life. Now, you maybe are married, maybe you're in a long-term relationship, whatever situation, maybe you're single, I don't know, maybe you're dating, maybe you don't do any of those things, and more power to you. You're probably living the right life. But I feel like even if you are in a wonderful situation, a wonderful relationship, there is somebody from the past, somebody who comes to your dreams often. Maybe you haven't seen them in years or even spoken to them in years, but they are somebody who you've never forgotten. They show up in your thinking. There are periods of time where everything reminds you of them, or at least some things remind you of them. It is not really so much that you would ever go back to them or you would want to, but I think that it's like a raw nerve, right? And it's not necessarily happy or anything, but it is like there's just a potent connection there, and almost kind of like a minor soulmate kind of situation. And I'm sure there's some term for whatever kind of relationship this is. I don't know. There's so many ones. I don't know. I don't know what it's called. You can tell me. I won't say it again. I don't like all those terms, honestly, but I don't dislike them, but I don't adhere to the kind of pop, what is it called? Pop, spiritual, relationship dynamic nicknames, I guess. And not because I'm too cool, but just because I don't really know what the heck they mean. And people explain them so differently. I don't know, to me, people are either a beloved or they're not, and but so this person, is somebody who is beloved to you. They were, right? You carry them with you. But they're lingering. And the dragon, it's not just you, it's also them. I think there's a lot of contention between the two of you. Whenever you communicate, every time, it's nice, and then it's crazy, right? And part of that is attractive. Part of that is like, ooh, no. That's not a good feeling to have. And down here, I see a person with their arms up. So I really, oh goodness, kind of like calling into the sky. Don't fall into that trap. Don't do it. Whatever's going on now is the right thing for now. I mean, not forever, but don't look back to old things. Okay. Don't go digging around to look for things that just don't ever work. They're not, maybe they will. Maybe you'll be like the one miracle that, the 15th time is the charm, right? But no. I think, with how things are going, you are feeling, and this is a Virgo thing, the person that could have done us the worst, right? And we did all this work. We went to therapy. We got our life together, did something for ourselves. Nobody saved us. We saved ourselves. That's just who we are. We save ourselves. And everything's going amazing. And then just some, you know, lonely night or some extra beautiful, you know, afternoon, early afternoon, you get that little tickle of, hey, I wonder what enter their name is doing. And that feeling grows. We all know that feeling. We all know it. My advice is to stamp it out before you get going with it, okay? Don't do it. And not just romantic. Don't look up anybody that you used to know. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's a waste of time. It always sucks. It never goes well. It's never fun to catch back up. I'm maybe just like a cynical. I don't know. But you know, look to the future. Look to the future. Don't lament the past. Don't go searching for your lost one. You know, if they were meant to be, they would be here. You should not be chasing that feeling. Because really, you know, oh, and here's what I was saying. When you're doing well, Virgos are so, like, bad at this, I think. This is one of our big faults. When we are doing well, we'll share it with, like, our worst enemy, you know. And that's maybe, I don't know. I think that's maybe, like, a virtue or something. But not when it's, like, you know, it ends up being such self-sabotage, because it is not without condition. Ultimately, it's not like we're just doing it for the goodness of our heart, you know, out of the goodness of our heart, but there's a condition, because we want to partake in that person, right, in their company. We want to win them over. We want to, you know, be around them again, whatever it is. But it's always the worst. So just don't do it. You know, like, buy a puppy, go on a little vacation, you know, go get your nails done, or whatever makes you happy. I don't know. Buy some crystals, you know, something. Buy some pretty rocks, some shiny things. Go look for rocks. You know, go hunting for them yourself. That's a real Virgo thing. Go, you know, hunt for fossils. There's actually something I'm super into. I haven't really done too much of it, but when I was a kid, we did similar things. So I was like, I never knew how to a name. Where I grew up was one of the places I lived anyways was near Lake Tahoe, and it was on the Pony Express Trail, basically. And this is kind of where the mail was run across the country during, like, the pioneer days, out to the Wild West. And so, you know, there was, like, all kinds of garbage from, you know, the colonizers that kind of pioneered their way across the country and stuff. And you know, and gold mining was really big there too. And so we, you know, I would spend a lot of time out there looking for stuff, not necessarily anything beyond, like, some, you know, I was more looking for cool sticks and, you know, pine cones and stuff. But you would find, you know, fragments of things, bottles and whatever. And so there's this thing that I saw, like, a group for a couple months ago, and I'm like, so about it. Next year I'm doing it after the snow season, and it's called mudlarking. Some of you probably know about it, and it's basically you just go along rivers and creeks where people have, you know, people settle along waterways. And you dig through the mud looking for, you know, artifacts and things. And literally nothing. I was so excited about this. We have not had the time. We're trying to get, you know, our schedules all together. It's just, you know, been one of those last few months have been really chaotically busy. So I'm looking forward to it though. It's like on the top of my priority list of like, this is my next obsession coming up next spring. And so anyways, yes, I wanted to share as a Virgo, one Virgo to another. You might find that to be of interest. Okay, so we have a person who is walking, and it looks like it's almost kind of like raining down. Is it raining money? I hope so. I do hope so. But no, I think that we have, I feel that there is a sense of absolution here. Almost a sense of finding peace in letting go of those old things that we were talking about. But also, I feel like, you know, there's been a lot of struggle finding a place where you feel very confident about your abilities. And I feel like you really, in the last like couple of months of readings, I feel like it's really been a theme about finding where there's plenty of places that you know you do well, but finding a deeper meaning to your life, finding a way to express that you feel comfortable in. And I really think that that is coming through. I think that it's, you know, I almost feel like, you know, like being in a field full of flowers, kind of, you know, blowing around in the air around you. Like it's a really beautiful kind of overly romantic, kind of successful, energetic kind of feeling. Okay. And those, you know, all of that energy, all those flowers and their seeds that are attached and blowing in the wind, spreading to the winds, going all over the place to continue to sow their seeds and grow more and more abundance. And I really think, you know, it's just a very beautiful and potent time. This next year, you know, we still have months. I'm already like, okay, it's Christmas. It's going to be Halloween, and then, you know, the winter holidays, whatever, you know, I don't want to alienate anybody. But you know, we celebrate a lot of holidays. We even kind of make up our own holidays here in our house, in the Thomas house. So we, you know, but we do partake in like the festivities of the winter. Plus, I'm all about Saturn, so like I just kind of I love the festivities, but like low key, I'm like, okay, this is like a lot of like, you know, Saturnalia for me. So we even have a black tree. Our tree is a black tree. So I'm excited to show pictures to you all this next year. We put it out really early, so it's like out for like 3 months or whatever. But yeah, so a lot to look forward to. But you know, this next year, I'm already like, it's at the, you know, it's knocking on the door. I think it's just going to be a wonderful time, you know, and it's all about our perspective. You know, we have to stay motivated, stay in that place of forward movement, believing in self, you know, as Jay-Z said, we gotta, you know, wipe that dirt off our shoulders whenever, you know, something is out of our control. Somebody has something, you know, whatever, they have their own problem with us or whatever it is. We're not taking any of that into ourselves. This year is about, you know, doing what we need to do. And it's going to be quite a year indeed. I'm talking about 2024. It's still like 5 months away. Okay, let's see. We have the water blessings affirmation cards. Okay, and I'm just going to go ahead and bring these up here. And then I'm going to stop where it fit. Oh, I like it. We have a seagull. Yeah. I saw a seagull today. He was out. It was almost dark. It was getting dark and there was one seagull out. Okay. Free seer. Embrace flowing with precise divine timing. Okay. Yeah, I think, you know, surrendering to the timing of the universe, and, you know, supporting the cues that come up for us. We know when things are going how they should, how we want them to, of course. But the real, you know, the real higher initiation is in really looking at the signs, symbols, patterns in our lives, listening to our intuition, becoming very sensitive to the whims of the immediate universe in our own lives, and you know, learning how to navigate that. And that's where we exist, both in that kind of free-flowingness, but also being able to start to identify some of that timing where we can. Okay. All right. I'm going to go ahead and say thank you so much for spending this time with me. It is always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. If you'd be so kind as to like the video, it helps us get into the algorithm, and the algorithm kind of decides what happens to these videos, to this channel, how far out they go, how many people see them. So we like to make it happy by giving it the engagement that it wants. And some of that engagement is liking the video, watching the readings from the beginning to the end, sharing the videos on other social media platforms. Of course, you don't have to do any of these things, but I figure if you get to this part of the video, you might be more inclined to help support the channel, and these are things that really do help. Other than that, if you have not subscribed, please think about doing so. You can hit the little bell when you subscribe. It will let you know when the next videos are coming out. And if you want to leave a comment, please do. I read all of them, and you know, I reply back to all of them as well. So sometimes it takes me a day or two to get to them, but I promise you I will. They mean so much to me. I love connecting with you all. And yeah, I think that's it. So we will talk in just a few days, Virgo. Thank you, thank you, thank you.